Welcome to Lead with Clarity. This is a space for leaders who want to grow without losing themselves in the process. Each episode is a short reflection on leadership, influence, and the inner work that shapes how we show up for others. Not hype, not noise, just clear thinking for the journey of leading well. Today's episode is entitled, The Day They Stopped Telling You What Silence Really Means for Leaders. Here we go. There's a specific kind of organizational failure that almost never shows up in a postmortem. It doesn't get flagged in the board report. It doesn't generate an alert or a red line on a dashboard. But it is one of the most reliably early signals that a leadership culture is breaking down. It's silence. Not the silence of a calm operation, the silence of a team that has stopped telling you the truth. Colin Powell said it plainly when he said, "Leadership is solving problems. The day soldiers stop bringing you their problems is the day you've stopped leading them." Powell was a 4-star general and a Secretary of State. He had seen organizations at every scale under every kind of pressure. And this is what he identified as the defining measure of whether leadership is actually functioning. Not strategy, not vision, not results on paper, whether the people under you still trust you enough to bring you their problems. Think about the last time someone brought you genuinely bad news. Not a polished update with a mitigation plan already attached. Raw, bad news. A missed deadline, a client relationship at risk, a decision that wasn't working. How you responded in that moment, your tone, your body language, your first question, communicated something to every person in that room and eventually to everyone they talked to afterward. Leaders shape the information environment they live in, and most of them don't realize they're doing it. Here's where a lot of leaders get this wrong. They interpret quiet as a sign that things are going well. The team isn't escalating problems, so the problems must not exist. The inbox is manageable, so the operation must be running smoothly. What they're actually experiencing is a filtered reality. People have learned through repeated small signals that surfacing problems creates more difficulty than absorbing them quietly. So they absorb them. They handle it at their level, or they hold it and they watch it grow. And the leader remains, in their own mind, in control. The real signal to track isn't whether problems are reaching you, it's the ratio of early-stage problems to late-stage crises. In a healthy leadership culture, people bring you things when they're still solvable. When that ratio inverts, when you're hearing about things only after they've escalated, the problem is not with the team's judgment about what to escalate. The problem is with what you've taught them to expect when they do. Psychological safety is not a culture initiative. It's the direct result of how a specific leader responded to specific moments of candor. You either built it or you didn't, and your team already knows which one is true. There's a practical test I give to leaders I work with. I ask them to think of the last 3 significant problems their organization faced. Then I ask when they first heard about each one. If the answer is consistently late, if there was a gap between when the problem existed and when it reached them, then we have work to do. Not on the team, on the environment. Because the information that reaches you is a function of the trust you've built. And the trust you've built is a function of what happened the last time someone told you something you didn't want to hear. Powell's words are not a management principle. They're a diagnostic. If the flow of problems has slowed, if your team seems to have things unusually under control, if people come to you with solutions but never with uncertainty, pause before you celebrate. That quiet may not be peace. It may be the sound of a team that has stopped trusting you to be part of the solution. Leadership is not the absence of problems. It's what happens when the right people have access to the right leader at the right moment. Keep that channel open. That is the work.